What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here with another dish soap VOD to review. I'm just on a roll with these. Also, today is the day that I'm leaving. So I am probably on a plane while you are watching this video, or have already arrived in New York City. I mean, New York's a pretty big place, so surely if I dox my location, no, it'll come murder me. I am going to be at Tactician's Crown on, oh my god, double Jace drop? Okay. I'm going to be at Tactician's Crown on, it will be today, when this video is coming out, the local TFT tournament in New York. Oh my god, it's a full gold opener, by the way. Surely you just make gold here. Yeah, wow, what an opener. This is really interesting. It'll be cool to see how he plays around this, because like you really want to play just like a gunner's game from this spot. You could even potentially like sell one of the Jaces to make gold. Obviously, you really want to high roll like a Vi or an Echo, and then you just have Piltover opener here. But I don't know. Someone in the chat said Peepo pre-level. I don't know if I love the... Oh, he does actually go for the pre-level to increase the Vi odds, and also like the odds, and the Echo odds, and the odds of like a Jace. Ooh. I mean, I think Blood Money seems amazing here. Latent Forge is also fine, but like, I mean, I guess the idea though is it's like potentially you might, wow, he just rerolls the Blood Money immediately. He's gonna go Stationary Support. Interesting. And sadly, I don't know. Maybe if it lags anymore, I'll go switch to the other bot thingy. I guess his idea is that, like he might, I don't know, like he's almost guaranteed having to play for Piltover in this opener, even if he finds it later. I guess Stationary Support is a lot like Latent Forge in that it sort of plays for Lost Streak. It also gives him the front line that he needs. It's an interesting idea. I feel like Blood Money would have been great, but I mean, like, look, he ends up winning this fight. He's gonna get his first item here. It's usually just like Shroud, yeah. Finds a Jinx, which is nice. And he can just make 20 gold here. Yeah, I love this. You can't sell the Ori though. Yeah, okay, you just chill. And then just slam the Shroud probably. But yeah, I'll be at Tactician's Crown. I won't be playing in it actually, which is wild. But I don't think my flight gets in at like 11, and it starts like check-in starts at like 10 a.m. So I'm just gonna show up there, hang out with people, go like bother Joe Bookmark and Kai in person because I believe they're both going to be there. So that should be really, really fun. So if you guys want to watch the live stream for it, I believe it is going to be streamed on Gangly's channel. Try to find it. If not, if you can't find it, maybe ask, and I can put a link in the description down below. Like ask me in the comments if you can't find it. But I mean, if you just Google just Google like Gangly TFT and you can probably find his Twitch channel, which is I believe where it will be. But that should be really, really fun. I'm excited to meet some people who I've never actually met in person before, like Kai, which should be really dope. And hopefully maybe Kai or Joe wins it all. That should be super fun. Curious if he sells this Graves here. Looks like no. Looks like he's not interested in selling it to make 30. He just wants to, oh my god. I mean, surely he's not getting a Jace with Sword. But this is such a weird opener because like he wanted to hit Piltover. That's why he pre-leveled. And also to have the odds of finding like a Jace 2 or something, but he didn't actually find it. I would just take Glove here for sure. Glove is Last Whisper. It can also be IE if you really need it to be, but Last Whisper is quite a high prio in this comp. I mean, he hits Jace 2. Now we're just playing Streak. But he also gets Piltover in, which is kind of hilarious here. Finally finds the Vi, so he's just playing Win Streak Piltover. It's fine though. Like, it does still give you a little bit of gold. You know, it's not the end of the world, but it is kind of hilarious. Versus a board like this, we don't have to slam IE. I would be hesitant to slam IE here just because of the fact that it kills your Last Whisper component. But I mean, since we're on a 4 streak, you probably have to slam it next round if it's gonna swing the fight. Like if we fight Trickpea here and it's an IE diff, that would feel horrible. So you absolutely have to slam IE in this position, I would think. But I'm curious to see. If he fights one of, like, Taco Bell is probably full open, playing for Rogues. Yeah, so, like, we're probably fine versus Taco Bell, though honestly his board didn't even look that bad. But yeah, Trickpea's board looked great. So yeah, it's really, really crucial that we hit the Shroud, and really crucial. You honestly, like, I wouldn't be that shocked about, like, removing this Shroud here, just to guarantee the 5 streak. But it is, you are spending a whole remover to potentially just barely need it. You know, like in this fight, we obviously didn't need it, so it would have been a waste for sure. So it's a bit of a wild play, but I don't know, just something off the top of my head that I thought could be interesting. Because you already have this remover, and you're gonna get another one later from Finn, the shopkeep. So it's not even like that bad. In any case, I mean, this is a great spot to be in. It'll be interesting to see if he plays the Jace version, because he already has 3 Jaces. If he naturals 1 or 2 more Jaces, I can... Oh my god, what are these item drops? It's like everything you could ever want. It's probably just Last Whisper IE, and then you hold this sword. And yeah, he can just level here for basically free. Get in... Oh, he got rid of the Renekton. I wouldn't make like a Sterax or anything like that. That seems a little bit presumptuous. But yeah, I mean, this spot is insane. It'll be I'm curious to see like what kind of a placement he can get from this spot. Yeah, he even just slams all of his components because he wants to keep the streak obviously here. I actually don't love slamming these components because you don't know when the shopkeeper is going to appear, right? Like, what if he appears next round and offers you a radiant item? I mean, I guess you have the double removers, but it seems a little bit of a waste to slam that. Like, you basically have to use a remover at that point, but I don't know. Dueling Gunners, I mean, sure, for sure. I mean, the other options are actually, like, not even that bad, but surely it's Dueling Gunners. I mean, like, nothing to learn here, honestly. I mean, I'm just curious to see how he caps out his board, what version he plays for, if he wants to play for the Jace version or not, but, like, this is, I sometimes VOD review high roll games. I think it is valuable to look at the high rolls, just because, like, it is a skill to play from a high roll position, right? Part of TFT is knowing how to, like, minimize your low rolls and how to maximize your high rolls. Like, I'm sure there are players... Did that Jace just miss, by the way? I'm sure there are players who... Oh my god, he actually got stomped in this fight by Vel'Koz. Maybe because that Jace missed. That's wild. But now he loses his streak. Very sad. But yeah, there are definitely players who, like, would go fourth this game when they should go first. Wait a minute. That's my emote. This is a person from my chat, I just realized. That's so funny. Shout out to that person whose name I'm very bad at pronouncing because it's got a lot of letters in it. But I was like, wait a minute, that's me. I just see in Dishsub's VOD. It's hilarious. I appreciate the shout out for using the VOD, and also the person was saying that they were high AF. So hope you're having a good time. So we have this sword. GS looks great. Gunblade looks great. I would go for one of those components. I mean, 4-cost GS sounds amazing. We also have this belt side. I mean, I would just make the GS here if I can get 4-cost GS. If not, I don't... Yeah, I mean, you can just complete the GS and you just get 3 less gold for it, which feels a little bit bad. But not the end of the world. 2 gold there for cracking his 1 loss streak. That's actually not terrible. Okay, so really interesting here. He levels and then rolls. I think it makes sense, right? Like, you don't have any Jaces to roll for, right? You don't actually have very many pairs, right? You have the Taric pair, and that's it. But the power level of hitting 1 Aphelios is a huge spike. So, like, this is something that I think Dish Soap and a lot of really strong players are really good at, is knowing when to roll in spots like this. Because sometimes you level at 3-5 and you don't roll at all. But he levels at 3-5 here, rolls because he knows his board spikes really hard on one singular Aphelios, and he also even gets the Silco in, which is a really interesting addition because it is Zon and it's also Sorcerer with Orianna, which is kind of hilarious because he still doesn't have Echo in. But yeah, like I think that's like really good sort of understanding of Dish Soap on like what spikes his board, because that's a spot where I don't think it's that straightforward to roll because you have 0 pairs, but he knows that Aphelios spikes his board pretty hard, Silco spikes his board pretty hard. He hits both. Like Sejuani would probably spike his board relatively hard if he can find an Echo. It spikes his board decently. There's actually, I mean, Echo doesn't spike the board that much, but it spikes it a little bit. So looking like, actually, I don't know. That person didn't have like a ton of Jace or anything on bench. Yeah, he's going to roll a bit more on 7 here. Because that person doesn't have a lot of Jaces. Looks like they're rolling on 6 for Jinx 3, maybe. But he could potentially go for the Jace 3 version here. Gets a Warmogs. There's a Silco. Finds another Jarvan. Finds Jarvan 2, which... yeah, I mean, at this point, you just cut Piltover, right? Because your Piltover is not very useful. And now you can just play around Jarvan and use this, push 8, play around Aphelios eventually with these items, but Jace is a more than good enough carry, and yeah, this spot is looking great. But really, once again, beautiful awareness of Dish Soap on how deep to roll there. He wanted to roll at 7. He didn't want to just sit at 7, even though he's 89 HP. He wanted to roll there on 7. Not only does he have the opportunity of hitting more Jaces and potentially like rolling into a Jace reroll spot, he can hit the Aphelios, he can hit the Silco. I mean, Know Your Enemy seems great here. I would just go Know Your Enemy. Harmless is also very good. I'm not that much of a fan of the items. I'm curious to see what he takes here. He's actually looking around to see how much stuff he has Know Your Enemy value from. But yeah, I mean, I just think this augment's too good, especially in a spot like this where, like, look at we have Gunner in, we have Targon, Sork, and Zon. That's most boards we're gonna have something versus. I think the Assassins, the Rogues board is the one where we don't. He has right side versus this and gets to Shroud the Graves, which is really nice. Like, he has all these Rogues on his side, but they're really not that bad. Like, they're not the scary ones, though he is getting Rogue procced by this Graves, but, you know, Dish Soap, always a good early game player, not the end of the world losing the fight. What the fuck are these? I mean, I guess it's Radiant, yeah. I guess it has to be. You would really have liked probably like a Radiant... I'm not actually sure, because you don't want Radiant LW. Maybe just like a Radiant IE or Radiant GS or something, like some kind of Radiant Gwynsu for Aphelios. I mean, honestly, I thought this Protectors was kind of bad, but it's honestly not that bad. Giving your Jarvan a really early cast once you have all of your mana items is really nice. Also, sorry for the pause there, but look, if I want to do it the other way, just watching it straight up through Twitch, every time I pause, it just gives me an ad for like 20 minutes of like Gatorade Power Fuel, and like I don't want to have to sit through 20 minutes of ads for Gatorade Power Fuel. The other thing to consider is that his all of his augments are damage, right? I mean, the dummy one isn't, but the other two gold ones are. So like actually just having a bit more frontline is better. Also, songs like this kill me, where it's just the just a tank item off carousel here. He's actually stuck between Cloak and Chain, and he just scouts the lobby to see if he needs Bramble, and it looks like there's a decent amount of AP. I would always level here, just because it's basically free at this point. You could maybe... Like, I'm not actually that sure that you need to roll here. Yeah, his board's so strong. Like, I wonder if you just chill for a few rounds and either go fast 9 if you win these, or if you take a couple of losses, then you can think about rolling more at 5-1. Like, honestly, though, if you win these two, you might just go fast 9. This spot is so illegal. And, like, Jace is such a good carry. Like, oh my god, Jace is just 6k in this fight. I mean, this was definitely playing on easy mode a bit. Like, I think if you give a bronze player this spot, I mean, obviously, if you put him in a challenger lobby, they'll absolutely fuck it up. I've seen people do egregious mistakes. Like, there's definitely ways to mess up this game. But I think the big part of this game is just knowing how to play cleanly around rolling, and I think Dish Soap's done it beautifully this game, like knowing exactly how much he has to roll, like not rolling at that spot there at 4-5. I think really, really smart. These are like the small things in TFT. When someone tells me, like, you know, how do you go from like a Masters player to a GM player, or a GM player to like a Challenger player, or something like that, it's these small little optimizations. Like, it's all of these little things. It's knowing exactly how much to roll, not under rolling and taking bad losses, but not over rolling and wasting your gold. And players like Dish Soap, they just do it perfectly, like most of the time. If, you know, there are definitely times when people like Dish Soap makes mistakes. I'm sure he would acknowledge that. I mean, sometimes because he's so good, he makes a mistake and I can't even see it because, you know, it's like at that next level. What do you itemize here? Like, you want to itemize Aphelios, but it's just Gwynsu's Protectors. That's probably what I would go for here. But that's just at first glance. Is there anything better? Looks like no. And he just Protectors the... Oh! I was going to Protectors the Shen, but he Protectors the Silco for faster cast. I could see it. I could certainly see it. There's a lot of rogues in this lobby that the Protectors value isn't even that bad versus. A lot of cool tank item on backline. You know, like the game earlier, which I guess is a few days ago for you guys, where he played Double Edge of Night on a Sork backline is not something I think a lot of people would do. But yeah, I think Dish Soap did a fantastic job of this game of understanding how strong his board was and how much he needed to roll in order to spike his board. And that's the kind of stuff that'll absolutely carry you, because, you know, he has as much gold as he could like reasonably have in this position. And now he can just go fast 9. He probably sacks 2 more and then goes 9. He's 77 HP, so like he's completely fine. Also, like the awareness of like cutting Piltover and stuff like that. It looks so straightforward when he does it, but I guarantee you put a worse player in his spot and they would not do a lot of the things he does. And like, you know, you probably watch this game and you say, oh yeah, obviously do that. And then I put you in this game, you know, unless, you know, Joe Bookmark's watching this video, unless, you know, like very, very solid TFT players. So what, Frodan, an incredible TFT player, by the way, one of the best TFT players I've ever... He's a very solid player, is all I have to say. I respect Frodan's TFT play a lot. But, you know, a player like Frodan, you know, like maybe he would do that. But if you're watching this video as like a Diamond player, I mean, hey, Diamond's really good. But I'm sure you would make some mistakes if you were put in his spot. But I think Dish Soap has played this game near flawlessly. And obviously when you're put into a good spot, it becomes easier. But I just think he's knocked it out of the park. I mean, Heimerdinger is a solid unit to grab here, just as a support unit. So he's going to go, I would assume he goes 9 here. Can't get the Heimer. You can go for like Shojin or a Aphelios item here. I wonder if he wants Edge of Night, by the way. I don't think you actually need it in this spot, especially with this random protectors on backline. Yeah, I like Shojin a lot. I assume you go 9 here. The question is like, how much do you roll here? I do think you roll a little bit. He finds Heimerdinger here, and now he gets a lot of value just from rolling here, because he can pick up turret upgrades. Ooh, he goes Reparo on the backline. I mean, oh, he's just gonna put it on frontline. Okay, I mean, I think this makes sense. This is something I don't do enough. For some reason I'm a Reparo hater. Like in a spot like this, we're dueling gunners. We have Last Whisper already. Like we don't actually need more backline damage. We just need frontline to buy enough time for our dueling gunners to scale up, and our Gwynsu Aphelios to scale up. So I think this is really, really smart. I imagine he does buy the Mechano here. Yes, he does. Because even though it's a frontline turret, you do still need that healing reduction. You don't have it on this board, and you know there are going to be fights where this turret's going to auto a few times and get some healing reduct off. So I like this a lot. I think it's perfect. And he does just continue to, of course, actively move the Shroud, position every single round. He's fighting this Sorks player who hit their entire board, but sadly they are 2 HP and they're stuck on level 7, and they're fighting Dish Soap's very, very strong gunner board. The turret actually does absorb a Silk ult for a while. Yeah, that was actually a relatively close fight. I think without Reparo, I wonder what would have happened if that fight, if the turret had just died immediately and then Silco could have got to ult backline. But yeah, I imagine we're not going to go for a Shrinko here. I imagine we're going to go double Reparo Burno here. But open to see what Dish Soap goes for. There's also maybe like a Goldinator angle, but I don't think in this spot I would go Goldie. I think I would just go double Reparo Bernie, but I'm curious. He is still level 9. You probably, yeah, he does go the double Reparo and just roll down for Aphelios 2. He hits Aphelios 2. Item-wise here, I mean, you just go Morello's, right? On Silco. I would imagine it's a third Silco item, and it's healing reduction, which you have from the turret, but redundant effects like this are, you know, it's not great, but it's nice, especially when the healing reduct from the turret is gonna be really really unreliable. Like this entire time that the turret's healing up, you're not getting that healing reduction. So I think it makes a lot of sense in this spot, and also just getting a third item onto your Silco is really, really strong. He's just gonna donkey roll a bit just because the game's almost over. I don't know if he was like rolling to deny. No, he's not really rolling to deny anything. Tiny is a lot of gold actually. Looks like they're like trying to, I don't know. I mean, they can't really hit Quinn 3. I mean, they're just trying to go 9 at this point, right? And get something in here. They're playing just a standard 6 challenger. Well, standard challenger board with challenger +1. So this is probably 6 challenger with Fiora and Kai'Sa duo carry, but they just get absolutely pounded there. I guess they're going to push level here and maybe try to find like an Atrox or something. Actually, they might be fighting Becca here, and Becca, oh no, they did go 9, okay. Becca was Azir. Oh, interesting. It's like an Azir Silco board, but they didn't, Becca couldn't find Silco, so she just played Azir Ahri with Shen and Karma in. This is a really creative board from Becca. And then like Heimerdinger too. What a really interesting board. I like this a lot. So she does have a Radiant item stuck on the Heimer, which is kind of wild. Though honestly, he puts in work. Oh my god. Becca wins that fight. What a beast. Can Becca tilt, dethrone Dish Soap, and win this game? Item-wise here, I actually like the declaw a good bit. He got it right because Ahri was the highest unit, even though, if you guys don't know, Carousel there defaults to giving you the highest cost unit in that position. So if you ever want to flex on anybody, and like the last unit's a 5 cost and you want it, just AFK on Carousel and then it'll give you that and you'll look kind of cool, but it's like kind of stupid. But it always defaults to giving you highest cost there. So I'm pretty sure he was, like he didn't actually get to the Ahri in time, but it just defaulted to giving him the Ahri because it was a highest cost unit. Like I think he freaked out a little bit there, but it was fine because she was highest cost. This is going to be a win for Dish Soap against the challenger player. And is this a double kill? No, Becca is still alive. She is still chugging here. Curious to see how this fight ends up going, because she won last time with just her Giga Chad Heimer pumping out damage. I mean, it makes sense, right? Heimer buys a lot of time for this like Azir, especially with this Nashor's, the Radiant Nashor's Tooth, just sitting in the back line. Really interesting here. Dish Soap fits in a Cassante instead of that Shen that he had in before there. Potentially so that Cassante can like snipe a backliner or something. Looks like this fight went better for Dish Soap, though one more Ahri ult wipes almost everything, but it's It's Aatrox versus the turret. It's the 2 revived units, and Aatrox wins! Oh my god. Holy, Becca's on a 4 streak now, and we get one final fight. What an entertaining game. Oh my god. The 2 revived units fight it out in the end. If she didn't have Aatrox, or if he didn't have Repair on his turret, either one of them would have, instantly lost that fight in the sort of rock, paper, scissors. And we do get our last item here. You can roll down, maybe find like Asante too. He finds a bunch of Scions here. Ooh, and he finds Aatrox here, which he ends up placing in. I mean, he didn't find Scion 2. I imagine he would have played Scion 2. He does find... Ooh, yeah, the GP2 is a big hit here, especially versus all the CC on this board. If GP can get a relatively quick cast-off with this Shojin, which I think is a really, really smart pick, I feel like this can absolutely invalidate like all of Becca's CC, which could give Dish Soap an easy win. Oh my god, it's so close. One more Heimeralt would wipe the board. Boom. Oh, but the Aatrox! But then the other Aatrox, but it's got the turret working with it. Becca's 9 HP. She's dead! What a game! Oh my goodness, what a finish. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch, and all my other links down below. Thank you, thank you. What a wild one.